I think Stoge was screened on that one. Couldn't quite see the puck. Came off the near side post and into the back of the net. West at the dot, trying to push it forward. Max ends up grabbing it, carried it across the blue line. Goes into the corner. Stop, pulls up. I'll get you on frame. 2-11 on the rush back out. Coming through center ice. Up to the near side boards. Tipped in front. Good block there by Andrew. Up and out of the zone. Back over to center ice. Pressure there by Sean. Goes off of Stevenson's boot. Up towards Sean at the far side blue. Sean carries it top of the circle. Trying to go through traffic and get a shot off. Ends up coming up the near side wall. Sends it all the way around to the far side. West is going to go over and pick it up. Drops it back for Andrew. Andrew puts it off his shin pad. Comes back into center ice. Grabbed up by Andrew. Dumped in. North Stars go for a line change. 2-11 on the rush, coming through their own zone, through center ice. Blocked away there by Charlie, picked up by Frank. Charlie tried to catch that pass, but it was blocked away. Gavin dishes it up to the blue line where Frank was waiting. Gets it over to Charlie at the near side hash marks, down low. Centering pass gets blocked up by a boot. Charlie with the puck, trying to send it all the way over to Gavin, but taken away by 2-11. Gavin stops the rush. 2-11 drops it in. Declan picks the puck up, looks up ice, sends it over to Charlie on the near side. Charlie taps it in. No icing being called. Going to go all the way down, come up towards Aiden. Aiden puts it down just a little bit wide of the net. Over to the far side hash. Declan keeps it down, puts it in the corner. Frank's going to go over, try to grab it. Gets it over towards Declan, taken away by 2-11. Frank on the rush. Gavin stops the puck right there at neutral zone. Carries it across, dusted it off around one. Ends up going up that far side wall. Picked up by Declan. Back down towards Gavin. Gavin's got Patrick coming through, but that was picked off by 2-11. Patrick lays the lumber and puck ends up going up the far side wall. Aiden's going to chase after it. No icing. Grabs the puck. Pushes it around over to the near side wall. Anthony trying to get it out of the zone. Swatting away at it. Down low, OC gets it, stops it, puts it back into the corner, comes back across the crease, over to the near side. Patrick's going to come up, grab it, kick it out towards Anthony. Anthony presses off the wall. Oh no, that's Stanley. Stanley with the shot. Goalie ends up catching it in the glove. Got Jasper coming to the dot. Sean and Max. Stevens. West with the shot. Throws it on net. Ends up falling down. Tipped back up along the far side wall. Ooh, close to a knee on knee. In the far side corner, 2-11 puts it off a boot and all the way down. I got a referee's arm up and I got the distance. So we got icing. Coming back for an offensive zone draw for your North Stars. West calling out some plays. Ends up stepping on the puck. Max kicks it down a little bit off the far side wall. Back in through center ice. Grabbed up by Stevens. Stevens gets the pass over to Sean. Sean taps it to himself. Grabs it up the wall. Trying to dust it off around one more and couldn't quite get it past. Stevens sends it in. Delayed offside. Puck comes up the near side wall. Sean takes that one off of the ankle and up into the player's bench. Declan at the dot, wins it back towards Jaw. 2-11 goes up the boards. Back in through center ice. Charlie swats it away. Trying to get it over towards Jal. Jal ends up grabbing it. Sends it back to Andrew. Andrew over to Gavin. Gavin goes up the wall towards Charlie. Charlie swats it in. Declan chasing after it. Going to get to it in the corner. Gets pressed up against the wall. Charlie centering goes off of a boot and off the far side wall it goes. Gavin grabs it. Comes back in towards the blue line. Dusts it off. Drops it for Declan. Declan tried to pass it off to Charlie. Charlie sends it into the near side corner. Jal battling for it. Goes well out of play and actually right down below me. Anthony wins it back. Stanley sends it back to Stevens. Bouncing in front. Anthony in the back of the net. Tying the score up here, 1-1. Anthony at the dot again. This is his second goal in 2 games. Ends up going over to the far side. Patrick trying to put it in. Took a little hit at the blue line. Ends up dropping it in. Up the near side wall. Stanley's trying to center the pass up. Goes high up over the goalie. Oh! Sent all the way down. Anthony was right there to get another attempt off the first shot. Ends up going in for an offensive zone draw. West comes to the dot. Max to the far side. Sean near side. James and Aiden. James trying to stop it. Sean's going to come back, grab it inside the blue line. Trying to pass it off. Left the puck there for. Ends up coming out of the zone. Taken away by Max. Max carries it up to the blue line. Goes around one. Taken away. Aiden steps up. Puts it in the corner. End up coming all the way around. Sean plays it at the top of the circle. James taps it. 2-11 on the rush. Centering pass. Good tie up there by West. Outlet pass to Sean. Sean taps it around one. 2-11 kicks it right back into center ice. Puck comes back to 2-11 at the blue line. Stevens is going to grab it. Bounces it off the wall towards Sean. Sean leaves it for Jal. No, that's West. That's West. Sorry. Puck comes up near side wall. Taken away by Gavin in the far side corner. Bounces it off the wall towards Frank. Frank drops it for Gavin. Gavin comes up that far side wall, taken off of his stick. Sent all the way around to the near side boards. Declan steps up, keeps it at the hash marks and down below. Centering pass. Declan shot gets tipped and goes high up and out of play. Declan at the dot. Wins it over to Frank. Frank puts a shot in the far side corner. Charlie grabs it top of the circle. On the half board, sends it all the way around. Frank picks it back up again. 2-11 comes up to near side wall. Through center ice, drops it off. And down, OC's going to go back and play it. Tips it away. Behind Stoge, drops it for Gavin. Gavin sends it off the boards just out of Charlie's reach. 2-11 sends it right back in. OC's going to come into the corner, tip it around. Gets it up towards Declan. Declan trying to go through a set of legs. Can't get it past the blue line. Frank puts some lumber on it, and Declan ends up putting it down to the dot. Declan gets it to Frank. Frank trying to go through the legs. 2-11 picks it up. Off the boards, back into the 2-11 zone as they were going for a line change. Shot on net. Declan picks the puck back up. Comes all the way around. Centering pass picked up by 2-11 on the far side. Tipped away by Declan. Swatted and kept back in for a split second there. 2-11 back on the rush on the far side. Trying to put it around Andrew. Oh, no, that's Stevens. Frank battles for it. Pushes it deep into the zone. Goes over to the far side wall. Picked up by Anthony. Anthony gets it over to Patrick. Patrick's going to cross the blue line. Dusts it off around one. Can't get past the second one. Stanley comes over to the near side wall, trying to pick the puck up. Left at the blue line. Everybody clear. Stanley with the shot. Goes off a shin pad. Picks it back up. Puts it high up. And goalie catches it in the glove. Anthony at the dot. Wins it over to the far side. Grabbed up by 2-11. They go back behind their net. Stop. Change direction. Go up that far side wall. Swat it up towards the blue line. Kick back into center ice. James comes back. Grabs it. Goes back behind Stoge. Looking for Patrick on the near side wall. Patrick let it go. Grabbed up by 2-11. 2-11 at the blue line. Big hit at center ice there by Patrick. Turns the puck over to Anthony. Anthony carries it down low. Stopped before he was able to get a full shot off. Stanley putting some pressure on a really big kid. Patrick grabs it on the far side hash. Anthony picks up the loose puck, takes a shot, gets tipped, goes off the glass. Grabbed by Stanley, centering up. Nicely done. 2-11 sends it all the way down. And that is an icing call. Got 5:28 here to go in the first. West comes up to the dot. Kicks it down behind the goal line. Picked up by 2-11, goes up the far side. Gavin trying to send it off of a boot. Ends up coming back. Shot by Stoge. Picked up by Max, sends it off the far side wall. Back down low to the top of the circle. Takes a shot. Stoge blocks that one, sends it back down. Picked up by Gavin. Gavin looks around, dusts it off around a couple, sends it over to Sean on the near side. Sean comes over to the blue line. Lost the handle of it at the top of the circle. Ends up going through a set of legs. Got a breakaway coming up. Stoge blocks the shot. Aiden picks up the puck. Sends it up the far side wall. Kicked out of the zone by West. West shot gets airmailed up above. Back into center ice. Good stop there by Sean. Puck goes off the back wall. Back behind the net. Kicked over to the near side hash marks. Sean trying to get around a couple. Good stop there by Stoge off that point-blank shot. Declan tries tying him up. Shot gets deflected in front of Stoge. Charlie with it, gets it up towards Jaw. Jaw comes across the blue line. Lost the handle of it at the goal line. Gets pressed up like Can-Am against the backside wall. Slow to get up. Oh, OC just swings and misses. Coming back, Stevens with an attempt. Stoge with the block, goes down. Gets tipped up in the air. Went across the bow again. Luckily, it went off the wrong side of OC's skate. Declan with the puck. Bounces it off the boards, gets it over to Charlie. Charlie pushing it up. Gets across center ice, dumps it in. Picked up by Jall on the near side. Jall puts it over to Charlie. Charlie's backhand shot goes across the bow and over to the far side hash marks. Drop back up to Stevens. Stevens takes a shot. Gets tipped. Charlie puts it in the back of the net. North Stars 2-1. Anthony comes to the dot. Pushed over towards Stanley. Stanley trying to battle for it. Gets the pass back from Anthony. Stanley puts it in the far side corner. Patrick picks it in the pocket. Sends it back to Stanley. Stanley over towards Anthony. Anthony got tied up in the slot. Comes up the near side wall. Andrew going to dump it in. Grabbed up by 211. Picked up by Patrick. Patrick sends it off the near side wall. Stanley trying to get it back down low. 211 sends it off the backside board. Comes up the far side. Gavin's going to let him go. Comes in through center ice. Kicked back out. 211 sends it back in. Far side corner goes back over to the near side. Centering pass, top of the circle. I think it went off a 211 player. Picked up by Anthony, trying to send it up the wall. Picked up by Gavin. Gavin lost the handle of it. Andrew picks up the loose puck. Gets it over to Stanley. Stanley taps it in. Stanley at the near side hash marks. Lost the handle of it. Just out of Patrick's reach. Anthony's going to stop it at the top of the circle. Send it back down low. Bounces it off the boards. Comes up near side. Kept in by Anthony at the blue line. His shot goes just over the top. Kept in by Gavin. Gavin knuckles one down. Patrick is tied up. Patrick trying to center something up. Goes off a boot. Gets the puck back. Near side dot. Gets it over towards Andrew. Andrew over to Gavin. Gavin far side hash marks. Takes the shot into the goalie's glove. Got 1:21 to go here. Difficult to see the score clock. West gets it over to Max. Try to get it over to Stevens. Tipped back down low to the top of the circle. Up the near side boards and back into the North Star zone. Aiden goes over to the boards. Picks it away. Max sends it up off the boards. Picks it back up again. Frank comes over to center ice. Swatted back down low. Frank at the blue line. Drops it for West. West comes in. Lost the handle of it. Just over Stevens' stick. Goes all the way down. Has the distance. That's an icing call. West at the dot. Taps it down towards the goal line. Separated from the puck. Max is trying to help it out. 211 comes away with it. Tipped away there by Max. West kicks it to himself. Grabs it again. Comes up the boards. Gets it over to Stevens. Stevens top of the circle. Puts a shot down. Goes across the bow. Over to the far side. Aiden keeps it in. Kept in by West, puts it down. Frank got tied up. Stevens comes in, grabs it at the hash, puts it into the slot. Up the far side wall. 2-11 gets around, top of the circle shot. Stoge takes it off the helmet. Puck ends up coming up the near side corner. Back around to the far side. Tipped away by Aiden. Picked up by West. Gets through a set of legs. Or Max gets it over towards West, and that is the end of your first period. All right, getting ready for second period action. What's that? All right, Stooge makes his way back to the net. North Star's going left to right. Puck comes over the near side. Charlie taps it in. Chasing after it, back behind the net. Up the far side hash mark, centered over to the top of the circle, comes back over near side. Gavin battles. 2-11 at the near side corner. Gavin picks the puck up, comes out of the zone, centers it up towards Sean. Lost the handle of it. 2-11 drops it in. Stevens going to go pick it up, send it up towards Charlie. Charlie comes, pushes it out of the zone. 2-11 regroups, sends it in deep. Loose puck, pushed up to the top of the circle. Grabbed back up by 2-11 to put it down on Stoge. And it trickles in. Ties the score up here at 14:01. Anthony at the dot, ties him up. 2-11, try to quick rush. Big collision here in front of scorer's box. Up the far side wall, stopped by 2-11. Stanley puts him in the boards. Centers it up to Andrew. Andrew's going to come through. 2-11 drops it back in. OC's going to go back over to grab it off the far side corner. Puts it up to Anthony. Anthony tips it up to Stanley. Stanley's going to rush across the blue line. Got Patrick coming through the middle. Patrick got tied up. Ends up coming along the near side boards. Goes across, off the far side. Anthony lays the lumber and he's going to get called for a penalty. Anthony going into the box for a cross check. North Stars go on the penalty kill here. Comes back up, top of the slot, pushed down low, taken away by Gavin. Gavin's going to rush through center ice, dust it off around one, carry it through the slot, puts the shot off the near side of the net. It ends up going all the way over to the far side. Back through center ice. Andrew had a good check, or Stevens had a good check there. North Stars send it out. 2-11 regroups in their own zone. Up the far side wall. Back into center ice. Sent across the blue line. Poke check there by Gavin. Goes over to the far side wall. Top of the circle, shot on Stoge. Catches that one. Declan at the dot, got tied up. Picked up by Stevens, sends it up towards the blue line. Kept in. Shot down. Stoge uses the blocker, kicks it over the near side wall. Charlie smacks it out of the zone. 2-11's got to regroup, come all the way back. Picks up the puck. Goes back behind their net, trying to set something up. Comes up near side, just out of the reach. Got an arm up. Got icing. Puck goes down, top of the circle, taken away by Gavin. Gavin goes through the slot, puts it down on net. Goalie reaches down, covers it up. .211 goes back behind their net as they gain control of the faceoff. Coming back through center ice. Tipped away by Charlie. Goes off the far side wall. Stevens pokes away at it. Ends up going up high and into the corner. Back behind Stoge. Off the wall and up towards the blue line. Kept in by .211. Gavin grabs it. Kicks it back into center ice. Stevens is going to take the puck. Go off the glass up towards the blue line. Comes out. Picked up by Charlie. Charlie drops it in. .211 pushing it up that far side. Anthony's out of the box. Stanley battles at the 50-50 puck. Picked up by Anthony. Pushed it up to the blue line. Sent up and out of the zone. Back into center ice. Grabbed up by Stevens. Steven pushes it over to the far side. Grabbed up by .211. .211 comes back up through. Stanley tried to make a hit. That was a full-on kick. Patrick goes behind the legs. Picked up by Stanley. Sent out of the zone. They got an arm up. Nope. Icing waved off as 75 could have picked that one up before the goal line. .211 on the rush coming through. Lost the handle of it. Coming through the center. Puts a shot. Goes just wide of the net. Up the far side hash marks. Grabbed up by OC. Lost the handle of it. Anthony goes off the glass and back into center ice. Grabbed at the blue line by .211. .211 loses the handle of it. .211 crosses the zone. Anthony with some good pressure. Makes him stop and turn up. Drops it down low, bottom of the circle, goes back behind the net, try for the wraparound, poking away. Shot goes tipped, goes up high, down low over to the far side corner. OC's got control, gets pushed down to the ice. Anthony trying to help out. Goes off of the near side post. Big melee and pile up in front of Stoge.
All the bodies pull up and dismantle themselves from in front of Stoge. West at the dot. Goes over to Gavin. Gavin sends it up the wall just around one, but looked like it touched the player's bench on 211. West got kicked out. Gavin comes in. Put into the near side corner. Tipped away. Stoge reaches down, trying to cover it up. Ends up going over to the far side. West sends an airmail pass over towards Max. Comes off the wall. 211 retreats into their own zone. Sends it up far side. Good poke check there by West. Frank takes the lumber. Aiden kicked it back into the zone. 211 retreats. Smacked out of midair. Coming back through the center. Gavin's going to get called for a penalty. Finally touched by Northstars. Hooking penalty on Gavin. Up towards the blue line, kept in by 211. Tipped, goes off the near side glass. Grabbed up by Andrew. Lost the handle of it. Goes across the bow of Stoge. Stanley's able to send this one all the way out and down. Picked up by Anthony. Centers it up towards Stanley. Can't get through traffic. 211 picks it away. 211 coming out. Towards the blue line. They drop it in down low. Takes a funky bounce. Andrew's outlet pass goes off of a body and ends up coming back into center ice. Picked up by 211. 211 goes over to the far side blue line. Top of the circle. Poked away. Picked up by Stanley. Stanley sends it out. Shot goes just wide of Stoge up that far side wall. Air mailed over near side. Stopped at the hash mark, sent back down, picked up by Andrew. Andrew waffles one up to the top of the circle. Block shot there by Anthony, picked up by Stanley. Stanley sends it up. Kept in by 211. Another shot goes over the top of the net, picked up by Stevens and sent out. 211's going to come. .211 back up to the blue line. Carried it through. Dusted it off. Shot on Stoge. Blocks it. Off the far side boards. .211 delayed offsides. Goes back behind Stoge over the near side corner. Stopped by Andrew. Andrew picks the puck up. Comes through center ice. Drops it in. Icing. Icing being called. Declan at the dot. Comes back through the slot. Sean picks it up. Carries it through center ice. Goes over to the far side. Two guys fall down. Shot gets tipped. Ricochet shot there by Charlie. Ends up getting covered up by the goalie. Declan at the dot. Back behind the corner. Picked up on the near side wall. Gavin gets it over to OC. OC carries it up to the blue line. Puts it down on net. Goalie fumbles it. Puts it back down. OC gets it again. Puts it down low. Tipped up. Sean drops it for Gavin. Gavin shot. Caught by the goalie. Stops the clock at 5:50. West at the dot. Max on the near side. Frank back to Gavin. Gavin puts it down. Frank tried to tip it away. Picks it up at the far side hash marks. Kicked back up to the blue line out of the zone. OC sends it back around. Picked up by 211. OC's going to grab it just inside the dot. Puts one high up and back into center ice. 211 picks it up. Goes through their slot. Back down behind the net. Frank puts him in hard into the boards. I'll come off the injured player. All right, player gets up. Frank going off to the locker room. Getting called for a major. Oh, I wish I had my live mic down there right now. Joe going to come in and serve the penalty. Anthony at the dot, top of the slot. Shot goes wide, picked up by 211 over the bottom of the circle. Tries to go over to the far side point, down low to the dot, back up to the point. Shot goes just wide, tipped in. Nope, picked away there by OC. Sends it up and high out of the zone. All the way back. Goalie's all the way back behind their own net. .211 comes up. How that's not called a slashing, or Stanley lost his twig as it was thrown into center ice. Kicked out by Anthony over the far side. .211 carrying it in. Shot goes just wide. Back up to the point. Down low. Through the slot. Picked away by Declan. Declan trying to kick it around. Kicks it back to himself. Gets it over to Anthony. Anthony lost the handle of it. .211 keeps it in. And ends up coming out of the zone there. Everybody's got to retreat. Sit back in. .211 top of the circle. Blocked by OC. Back up to the blue line. Kicked away there by Declan. Declan gets over towards center ice. Lost the handle of it. .211. Come on! This is just getting to be ridiculous. He gets punched in the face and he's got to serve a penalty on that? I mean, that's just nuts. All right, 5-on-4, offsetting penalties. Should be 4-on-3. .211 carries it across the blue line. Block shot. Stoge kicks it away. West's pass goes off a player and picked back up by .211. Comes back over to the near side. Crossing the blue line. Blocked. Stoge kicks it over to the far side wall. Kept in by .211. Sends it back down. Stevens battling for it. Goes through the slot, kicked away there by Gavin, poked away by Gavin, picked up, kicked away by West. West sends it high and down. Picked up by .211 behind their own net. Stanley putting some pressure. Puck comes up near side. Stanley with a poke check. Stoge blocks it, picks it up off the near side post. .211 with it. Puts it across the bow and ends up coming up the near side wall. Air mailed it over to the far side, back up and around, back into center ice. .211 carries it in. Gavin putting some pressure, goes back behind the net, pokes it away, picks it up, sends it up and out. Kept in right at the line. Gavin sends this one all the way down and on net. Goalie's got to stop it and play it. Leaves it for his teammate. 2-11 loses the handle of it, but picks it back up, comes all the way around. Drops it in behind. Gavin's going to pick it up, poke it around. Picked up, comes up near side, swatted away. Back into center ice. West is going to come over to the near side, put it on net. Goalie has to play it, ends up covering it up. Anthony back out on the ice. Anthony at the dot. Back behind the net. Got 1:20 left on that major penalty by Frank. Pushed up to the far side wall. Anthony lays some lumber. Kicked up to the blue line. Kept in by 2-11. Backhand shot tipped away by Andrew. Andrew presses the guy up against the wall. Patrick grabs the puck. Sends it up. Centering pass up. Just off the top bar and out of play. Anthony at the dot. 2-11 wins this one back from their point. They walk it in, putting it through the middle, tipped, ends up going over to the near side corner. Far side circle. Stoge saving his life over there. Ends up coming all the way out. Back behind the net they goes. Stopping, changing direction. Got 20 seconds left on the major. Off the far side wall. Drop to the point. Over to the near side. Shot goes down. Gets tipped. And in the back of the net. .211 takes the lead here with 28 seconds to go. Just scooted through on that near side post. Tied up at center ice. 2-11 comes back. Major's now over. Gavin picks up the puck, pushes it over towards Jal. Jal puts it across the bow and over to the near side corner. Charlie puts it across. Grabbed up by OC on the far side half-boards. Are you kidding me? He's gone. See ya! We'll be back after a nice cut. All right, we're coming back. Third period action. Fresh sheet of ice. Got a live mic down on the bench. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with me too much. Not exactly sure what happened at the end of that third period. Looks like Jaws coming to the box. Antagonizing. And then the cross check from 211 finally makes his way in. So it'll be 5-on-5, offsetting penalties at the end of that second period. North Stars trail by 1. Anthony ties them up. Stanley comes over to the near side wall. Crosses the blue line. Centering pass broken up by 211. Over the far side hash marks. Top of the circle. OC kicks that one. 211 on the chase. Going to go get that first. Gavin battling back behind the net. Picks a pocket. Sends it off the glass. Patrick chasing after it. 211's going to get there first, grab that puck, go back behind their own net, coming up the near side wall. OC tips it away, takes it, hands it off over to Patrick. Patrick gets a hit from behind, dragged down, I guess no call. Kept in by Gavin. Shot gets deflected and comes over to the near side. OC's going to come up. Gets it back behind the net. Patrick lets it go up the far side wall. .211 dusting it off, takes the shot. I believe that was an own goal there by Gavin. Stoge getting up a little slow, but West comes to the dot. Puck goes down, pushed forward over to the blue line. Grabbed up, back into their own zone. West battling for it. 211 comes away with it. Up the near side boards. Sean stops it. James puts a shot on net. Picked up and sent up to the blue line. Andrews' shot gets deflected. Up that far side wall. Sealing it pretty darn good. Back up towards the blue line. Kept in there by Sean. Sean dusted it off. West comes up. Swings at it. 211 puts it through the air. Stevens tips it back over to the far side wall. Grabbed up by Andrew. Up the near side boards. Declan stops, changes direction, puts the puck up towards Sean. Sean carries it across the blue line. Dusts it off around one. Picks the puck back up. Put a shot on net. Picks up his own rebounds. Deflected there by Patrick. Patrick picked that puck out of midair, put it down, got an arm up, got icing. Declan at the dot. 2-11 sends it off the boards. Aiden chasing after it. Stoge sends it over the far side wall. Patrick tips off of Declan's stick. Back in through center ice. Shot gets airmailed over the top of Stoge. Charlie at the far side hash marks. Press up against the wall. Declan trying to kick it away. Gets it up to the top of the circle. Deflected. Comes over the near side corner. Aiden takes a block. Tipped out of the air. Gets it up towards Jal. Jal trying to go through. Gets hooked up. Come on. Gavin from center ice puts it into the near side corner. 2-11 picks it up. Comes through traffic. Kept in there by Charlie. Lost the handle of it. Takes it off of Shins. Aiden catches this one at center ice. Gavin's going to regroup. Stanley has it along the near side. Sends it in, down deep. Picked up by 2-11. Slashing being called on 2-11. Anthony at the dot. Gets it over to Stanley. Stanley up the near side boards. Off of Jamie's shoulder. Picked up by OC. Leaves it for Stevens. Stevens pushes it up towards Patrick. Patrick taps it up. Grabbed back up by 2-11. Sends it back down. Stevens going to go to the far side corner. Passed up to Anthony. Anthony puts a shot, goes off a goalie's blocker over to the far side wall. Patrick puts it down. Anthony trying to dust it off. 2-11 sends it out and down. Stoge leaving it for Stevens. Stevens gets it up towards Stanley. Stanley's going to carry it across the blue line, carry it into the hash marks, down behind the goal line. Puts it on net. Ends up going back behind. 2-11 clears this one all the way down to Stoge. Picked up by OC behind the net. OC sends it over to Patrick. Patrick from center ice. Puts it on the near side. Stanley grabs it at the hash marks. Tips it up in the air. Out and around. Sean tips it. Picked up by Stevens. OC gets it over to Stanley, who drops it in. Sean behind the net. Dusting it off, trying to go for the near side post. And ends up coming all the way down into the North Stars zone. Stevens sends it over towards Sean. Sean carries it across the blue line. Trying to pass it through traffic. Gets deflected over to the far side. Picked back up by Sean. Walking it in. Bouncing it around. Back up to the point. OC keeps it in the blue line. Bounce back down to Sean. West grabs the puck, carries it up to the blue line. Up the near side boards, kept in by Stevens. 2-11 battling at the blue line with it. Ends up pushing it over to the far side. Shot goes over near side corner. Kicked away by Stevens. Delayed offsides being called. Stopped by Stoge back behind his net. Cleared out of the zone over to the far side. Up the boards. Pass goes over towards Declan. Ends up picking up the loose puck. Comes back to Gavin. Gavin's going to build up some speed. Bounce it off the wall to Charlie. Charlie sends it in deep and hard. Patrick comes up to the near side hash marks. Shot gets deflected, goes back over to the far side. Stoge with a big block. Gavin coming to the box. Anthony has it coming up along the near side. Real class act here by 2-11. Puck comes up near side wall. Stanley tries to drop it back to OC. 2-11 pushing it forward. Offsides called. .6:49 to go here. Gavin got called with a 2-10. That's why he has decided to exit the rink. Shot gets tipped, goes back into the far side wall. Stoge catches that one. Anthony at the dot, wins it over to the far side corners. Andrew sends it up the wall, kicked back down low. Comes out of the zone, regroup. Dropped in, down low. Grabbed up by Anthony. Picked away by Andrew. Andrew sends this one out and sailing. Picked up by 2-11 in front of their own goal. Carried back behind their net. Goes back behind. Andrews' outlet pass goes off a boot and over to the far side. Picked up, kept in by 211. Drop back down low. Andrew tied the guy up. Ends up going into the corners. Point over to the near side. Top of the circle. Block shot goes high up in the air. Kicked out of the zone. Anthony putting some pressure. Back up towards the blue line. 211 putting it through the middle. Swatted away first by Anthony. Shot gets air mailed up above and goes off the near side glass. Out of the zone. Where's the penalty on that? Shooting it after the whistle. Puck ends up going down deep. Up the far side wall. Stopped by Charlie. Puts it up towards the top of the circle. Declan puts it up to the blue line. North Stars on the power play. Declan comes off. West at the dot with Max to the far side. Sean to the near side. Stevens and OC. Wins it back. Comes back to the blue line, back into the North Star zone, controlled up by 211. OC grabs it the far side hash. Looking up ice, delivers a pass to Sean. Sean taps it, picks it back up, goes through one set of legs. Offside's being called. Max dusts it off, picks it up, gets it over to the near side for Sean, tips it around. This is turning into a bit of a major scrum here. Stanley at the dot. Patrick sends it off the far side wall, grabs the puck. Shot goes wide, up the near side boards, kept in at the point, back down behind the net. Andrews sends it back around near side, kept in at the point. Andrew comes away with it. Up the near side boards, lofts it up towards Patrick. It was on net. Up the far side wall. Andrew puts it down on net. Ends up coming over to the near side. 2-11 tapping it up against the wall. Anthony sends it over to the far side where Andrew picks it up. Comes back a little bit. Just missed Stevens. 2-11 at center ice. Drops it in. Stoge goes back behind the net. Stops it. Gets it over into the near side corner. Anthony's pass gets tipped away by 2-11. Their shot gets airmailed up above the top of the net. West kicking it to himself. Stops, turns around, delivers a pass to Anthony, and it's in the back of the net. Hey, 92, get back in the box. It's an even strength goal. You guys don't know how to count? .252 to go. North Stars trail by 1. Even strength goal. Declan pushes it forward. Now it's a power play for 2-11 for 31 seconds. Over to the far side point. Top of the circle, walking it in. Shot in the back of the net. Declan at the dot, wins it over to the far side. Charlie's going to grab it off the wall, send it in down deep. Comes way over to the near side corner, off the wall. Declan grabs it, tipped back up to OC. OC puts a shot. Goalie uses the glove, blocks it down. Charlie blocking it down behind the goal line. Comes back up, top of the circle. Gets lofted back behind Stoge. Stoge kicks it up to the near side hash marks. Dropped back down. Walking it in. Stoge catches that one in the glove. Anthony comes to the dot. Over the near side wall. OC's battling for it. 2-11 sends it back down low. Andrew's going to try to get there. Poke checks it out of the zone. Actually, 2-11 kept it in. North Stars go on the power play. Stoge coming off. 1:49 here to go. Got 6 attackers, no goalie for the North Stars. Anthony at the dot, picked up by Jasper. Takes the shot, ends up getting tipped over to the far side corner. Sent back down low behind the net. Up to the top to Stevens. Stevens takes the shot, can't get it through traffic. Goes over the near side wall. Shot down. Tipped at center ice. Offside, come on. Picked up by Patrick on the far side wall. Centering it up to Stanley. Stanley can't get it through traffic. Tipped Ends up going over to the far side wall. Swatted back into the zone by OC. Kept in by Anthony. Anthony gets Malachi crunched into the far side wall. OC still dusting it off around a couple people. Picked up. Sent into center ice by 211. Tapped, kicked out. Anthony Grizzett shoves it up towards Stanley. Stanley trying to put it down low. Jasper takes that one off the chin. Gets it up to OC at the blue line. Centering pass broken up. Caught out of midair by Stevens. Stevens delivers a pass over to Patrick. Patrick dusts it off around one. Takes a hit. Trying to carry it down behind the goal line. Picked up by 211. Stevens knocks it back down low. Kicked out by, how's that not an icing? Into the far side corner. Up to the top of the circle. Shot goes down, kicked away by West. And that is the end of your game. Thanks for joining the broadcast. This is Frank the announcer signing off.